If you've ever heard the phrase, money can't buy you happiness, and needed proof that that's a valid statement, all you gotta look at is the 5 most hated men in the world. You know who they are. Let's count them down. Let's start with Mark Zuckerberg, the evil incel who, had he not made a lot of money off his little idea that he stole from a couple other rich bastards, would probably not be living over there and probably be by himself right now, still bitter, still angry. Let's move to number 4. Well, that would probably be Jeff Bezos. Yes, you spent $100 million fucking dollars for your second wedding. $100 million. It's probably going to end in divorce too. But hey, it's only money, right? What, did you think you were going to be able to shove it all into a bunch of suitcases and take it with you when you die? No. You know, with the resources you and Zuckerberg have, you could do a lot of things to make this place a better world for everyone. But instead, you've chosen to manipulate people. Zuckerberg with his algorithms, manipulating friendships. Hell, had he not interfered, the Arab Spring would have been a success. But hey, you know. Then there's, moving on to number 3, Vladimir Putin. Yes, that fucking bloodthirsty cocksucker from Russia, who's out there. He's still, as Bill Maher once said, the most bitter man in the world, who sits at the bar staring and glaring at every person who just bought a brand new car. And because he can't afford one, he's going to leave that bar and he's going to key everybody's car because he can't have one. And that's what he's doing. He's doing it to our country. He's tried that with Europe, but the Europeans seem to be a little smarter and not taking the bait, unlike this stupid country who's unfortunately taken so much rage bait from Fox News and elsewhere that they can't help themselves. And this is why we're in the trouble we're in right now. So, we just covered the first 3. Now comes the next 2. Of course, there's Donald Junk, of course. Yeah, he's a prime example. Man shits on a golden toilet, claims to be one of the wealthiest men in the world, and yet every day, hate, lies, hate. That ugly, smug face of his, he only smiles when he's high on Adderall and speed and whatever else he's taking. Or because maybe his diaper just got changed. Who knows what his problem is. But another example, I mean, he bought Melania. You never see her smile. Another proof that money can't buy you happiness. And then there's the most bitter man on this face of the planet, and who happens to also be the wealthiest man as well as the most hated man on earth. And that be that fool from South Africa, who we're not even going to bother to mention his name. You know who he is. You know, the only way he can express himself these days is to take a bunch of taxpayer money that he stole and invest it in blowing up rockets because, hey, he knows they're never going to work. It's all been one big scam because he's still a little boy who likes to blow up things out of anger because he just couldn't find enough animals to torture when he was a child. Again, more proof. Money can't buy you happiness. But seriously, I'm not trying to say that being wealthy or successful is a bad thing if you use it right. I mean, do things. Get involved in philanthropy. Get involved in volunteering. You know, help open some libraries. Buy some books. Get them away. You know, create some scholarships. Do something constructive. Don't just spend it on yourself or spend your pursuits accumulating obscene amounts of wealth and then use it to spread hate. I mean, remember, you can't put it all in a suitcase and take it with you. Ultimately, you're going to have to answer for what you've done. So, unless you want to wind up like one of those 5 miserable people, and I say the word people very lightly, money can't buy you happiness. It can make things a little comfortable, but again, it's choices you make. Everything's about a choice. Life is full of choices. You know, and I'm not saying that I myself don't make bad choices. Hey, my recent blue sky suspension is a good example. But hey, I'll be the first to admit I'm certifiably insane. But that's besides the point. I still have my moral code, and I know what's right and wrong. A long time ago, a bunch of rocker people that I used to know invited me to a party one time, and they waited till very late in the night when everyone's high and a little messed up, and they were bragging about their accumulations and the properties they own, and started laying in on very ugly politics and their views on women and just views in general. And he turned to me and said, "Why are you looking at us with such bewilderment and a tinge of contempt?" I said, "Because I'm just marveling at what you've become. No, I'm not. I'm not that thrilled, nor am I bitter that you have a house, a nice one, some nice cars, a couple Ducati bikes. No, not at all. I mean, you worked for it. You worked for it. Good for you. But your attitude on life, very bitter." And they said, "Well, should you one day join our club and get a house in the suburbs, you're going to be just like us." And I said, "No, never." And I'm not saying that I've committed to a lifetime of poverty, but I would never allow myself to sell my soul for a creature comfort. Now, maybe with some Godiva chocolate and a bottle of Chanel No. 5, we might negotiate, but no, not for a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, darlings, that's your moral lesson for the day. So, remember, you can do good things in this world, you can do bad things in this world. But whatever you do, remember, you all have to answer for what you've done. And if you are so fortunate to become such a commercial success, then use your money and your influence for good. Elevate people, empower them, become a hero. You can do that, because just being a greedy, evil bastard, I'm sure it gets pretty lonely. Wow. Just ask Mark Zuckerberg. Or better yet, ask Donald Junk. It's like, you think he's getting any from who? Probably not. But then again, who knows what that old man can do? But who cares? Just look at their faces. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Bezos. He's always that smug grin, or Donald. These ugly faces he makes, and Putin, who never can smile for anything. Of course, probably because he's got to hide the blood. Anyway, and then of course there is that evil Boer. Let's put it that way. Be nice. Again, their dour faces says it all. You can't take it with you. And money does not buy you happiness. And these 5 examples, with them, I rest my case. Please be good to each other. Do take care. And above all, make the world a better place. We all have the choices to make in this life. Make some good ones. Take care, everyone. Love you all.